British Airlines Euroleague. I feel devotion.
In this episode, two former teammates proved their Euroleague basketball devotion in one of the best games of the season, while another pair of old companions shared the B-Win MVP of the Week award. We also met Stefan Lasme and Mikhail Gelabal during their visits to Italy, and we have all the action from round 7 and the top 3 of the week. If, like most fans, you enjoy players who not only win, but raise your adrenaline level too, look no further than Unicaja forward James Gist. In his third Euroleague season, Gist's high-flying highlights have sent fans from Belgrade to Istanbul to Malaga, jumping for joy.
A lot of times I can get on a fast break and I'll be thinking the whole time, like, all right, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna, do a windmill, or am I gonna do a reverse dunk? And then by the time I get to the basket, it's just like I have to do a regular dunk. So I just try to get a reaction out of the fans, if anything.
Whether it's an alley-oop slam or an out-of-nowhere block, Gist usually gets that reaction.
If I can get a spectacular dunk or a spectacular block, or even a steal, something to make a game-changing play, to get everybody fired up. That's what I look for when I do things like that.
Gist's many spectacular plays have one common purpose: winning.
It gets me more involved, it gets me more energized, it gets me more focused in the game.
Especially in the Euroleague. Gist says being a crowd pleaser is a competitive advantage too.
When you can do some plays and get the crowd involved, it's kind of like a sixth man, somebody that's actually there on the court is not really there, but, they really help out. They really do help.
He may be an entertainer on the court, but away from it, he still needs to improve.
Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side.
James Gist and his team are still impressing. Unicaja triumphed in our game of the week, putting a padlock on their basket. In the first 3 quarters, Malaga conceded only 31 points, which is a really amazing statistic, and further highlighted their defensive strengths after the victory in Tel Aviv. Yasmin Repeza's guys made the difference in the second quarter and were leading 34-23 at halftime, led by 12 points in 15 minutes by Kosta Perovic. And our player of the game, Earl Calloway.
It gives us a lot of confidence, but we know we can't settle for one win. We got to keep playing and keep moving forward towards the next game.
The 29-year-old guard scored 11 points, adding 4 rebounds and 2 assists in 19 minutes. And he and his teammates celebrated their 6th victory in a row, 63-48. While Unicaja qualified for the next round, Alba Berlin took a huge step towards the top 16 too, by winning in France over Elan Chalon-sur-Saône. Both teams had a 2-4 record coming into the match and were lying in 4th place in the standings. Now with 2 wins over the French champions, the German team is very close to going through to the next round. Alba made the difference in the last quarter, starting the clutch time with a pair of 3-pointers by Heiko Shafatic. Then the big man took care of business. Dion Thompson and Zach Morley worked very well in the paint. Then Yassin Idbihi put his team ahead in double digit with a couple of jumpers. And finished with 16 points and 6 rebounds. That was too much for the hosts. Alba finally won 87-82, and its goal is now very close. As the first 2 games of Group B were underway on Thursday, we were travelling to Siena to meet two very good friends on the eve of their Turkish Airlines Euroleague basketball clash.
Ricky, I saw you grow up as a player in Pesaro. Took you a few times to Burger King and McDonald's, and I hope you remember that. And just be good tomorrow night and let Siena get the win.
What's up, DH, man? I'm gonna see you tomorrow, man. Hopefully we got to get the W, so we got to go at y'all next tomorrow.
Last year, Daniel Hackett and Ricky Hickman became partners in crime when they shared the backcourt of Italian team Pesaro. They met earlier in the season, and Hickman was the match winner in Tel Aviv. This week, Daniel and Ricky faced each other in another very exciting contest between Montepaschi Siena and Maccabi Electra. It was a great opportunity for both, not only to play some great basketball, but also to meet again in Italy.
He was really like a brother to me, on the team. So, I really enjoyed, playing with him. And, we still keep in contact. And, I still consider him, one of my really good friends. So.
Last season, they were both part of one of the few teams that were able to win in Siena over the last few years. That's why Ricky gave his new teammates some well-needed advice.
I told him, it's a tough place to play, but it's not impossible to win. So, if we go there and, we play the way we normally play, we give ourselves a chance to, come out with a W.
Both players promised to put plenty of energy into the game, and it was time to let the action do the talking. Daniel and Ricky know each other very well. They respect each other's game, and they were eager to get on the court to see who was the best, at least for one night.
We are witness of what he's doing with Maccabi. I think he's becoming a top player, also one of the leaders of the team. He's not afraid to take big shots and to carry his team on his back, and that makes him an elite player.
He's a complete player, so he's not a player that demands the ball to shoot it out every time. So he's kind of like a good combo guard. So he helps create shots for other people as well. So he helped my game as well last year tremendously.
Of course, Montepaschi were relying on Hackett's know-how in trying to stop his opposite point guard. Ricky Hickman is becoming a true force in the competition. Hard to say how he can be stopped.
I think that you just gotta hope that he has a bad day. I know a few things that he doesn't like. Just try to keep him away from the ball, try to put pressure on him and be just as physical as he is.
The former teammates didn't disappoint the fans on both sides in what was an intense and spectacular duel. Hackett scored all of his 13 points in the second half, adding 5 assists and 3 rebounds. Hickman answered with 13 points, 4 rebounds and 3 assists. It was a thrilling game right until the end, and included an outstanding performance from Sean James. 22 points, 12 rebounds and an index rating of 39. And an amazing finish by local veteran Thomas Ress, who scored his team's last 7 points. The 89-87 outcome made it 4 wins in a row for Siena, which is one of the longest streaks at the moment. For the second time this season, Turkish Airlines Euroleague hands out 2 Kobe Win MVP of the Week awards, and Rudy Fernandez is one of the recipients again. Rudy played almost 17 minutes, reaching a performance index rating of 28, with his usual all-around contribution. Not only did he score 23 points, shooting 6 for 9 from the field and 8 for 9 on free throws, he added 3 assists, 1 block and received 6 fouls in the hefty success over Khimki Moscow region, 104-81, and left Real alone at the top of Group A. In Week 3, the Real Madrid star shared the award with Caja Laboral's Fernando Sanamaterio. This time, his co-MVP is FC Barcelona Regal centre Ante Tomic, who was a former teammate at Real Madrid last season. Ante was on the court longer, almost 23 minutes, scoring his team's first 7 points to finish with 17 points overall. He had a perfect walk on 2-pointers, 7 for 7, missing just 1 free throw on 4 attempted. He also added 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block and 6 fouls drawn to complete his wonderful statistics in the blowout victory over Lietuvos Rytas Vilnius, 90-66. With such a dominating performance, Barcelona Regal remain undefeated in Group D and are one of 3 teams that have already qualified from the group for the top 16, after CSKA Moscow overcame Partizan NTS Belgrade 78-61 and Besiktas Istanbul defeated Brose Baskets Bamberg 83-72. In Group A, Panathinaikos Athens travelled to Desio in Italy to meet Mapooro Cantu. Stefan Lasme made his season debut against the Italian team in the second round, and since then he has been one of the most consistent players for the Greens. In the last 4 games before this trip, he hit 15 for 16 from the field and grabbed 8 rebounds on each occasion. Lasme is one of the new faces for the Greek powerhouse, and he is very proud to be wearing the team colours.
Hey, just knowing that it's a rebuilding project makes it special. You know, I think it's an honor to be part of this team with big history, and to learn more and more from them. It's a great opportunity for me in my career.
Dimitris Diamantidis has stayed to lead the team down a new road, and after several years as an opponent, Lasme is now appreciating his teammates' playing talents and leadership qualities.
I just think he got a high basketball IQ. You really underestimate it when you play against him. It's not until I came here this year that I really understood how good of a player he is.
In the new setup, Lasme is working very hard to drive Panathinaikos to become one of the best teams of the competition and to restore their dominant status over their biggest local rivals.
I mean, I think just the fact that Olympiacos won it last year in the Greek, even in the Greek league and Euroleague, it makes it a bigger challenge. And I think everybody on my team, on our team, wants to prove that we're close to that level.
There is still a lot of work to be done to get to the top, and there are tough games to be won. Mapooro Cantu only lost by 2 points in the first meeting, and they were out to overturn that deficit in the chase to catch the team from Athens in the standings.
We down 3 players at this point, and I think for them it's an advantage. But for us, I think it's the moment we need to come together as a team and just figure out how good we can be.
There was a red-hot atmosphere at Paladesio, where everyone was expecting a real battle on the floor. Alex Tyus and Jonathan Tabou put in a big effort to get their team into a winning position. The big man finished with 18 points, shooting 8 for 9 from the field. Tabou added 17 points, shooting 6 for 10, with 8 assists. That was not enough though, because Panathinaikos stepped up when it really mattered. Agiris Pedulakis' side have been one of the poorest teams on 3-pointers so far, but Michael Bramos had a career-high 21 points, with an impressive 7 for 9 from behind the arc. He had landed 3 for 17 in the previous 6 games. Diamantidis added 15 points with 7 assists. Lasme added 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 spectacular blocks. Panathinaikos won 71-69, which takes them a step closer to the top 16, while Cantu remained on 2 wins and have an uphill struggle on their hands.
Hey fans, how you doing? Feel free to get connected with us on Twitter at Euroleague. Get updates, interact with us. Make sure you use the hashtag #IFeelDevotion.
Italy, but not the Greek teams as we switch from green to red. Pero Ante is in his 6th Turkish Airlines Euroleague season, and he was a real factor in Olympiakos Piraeus' triumph last May. The big man from Fyrom doesn't pull out big numbers in terms of statistics, but we all know that the strength of the Reds comes from the team effort. Everybody contributes, nobody claims a starring role.
You know, everybody have a role, and if they do it right, we can win anybody. But if you do something that it's over your limit, you know, your team gonna lose. So you have to put yourself for the team, not for yourself. Maybe in the previous team you was scorer, but maybe with this team you need to play defense.
Last year, Olympiakos started with 1 victory and 3 defeats. But now they know that a bad start doesn't necessarily lead to a bad finish. That's why nobody was worried after the defeats at Anadolu Efes Istanbul and against Algiris Kaunas. The core of the champions is the same. After a few months together, the team has now fully integrated a new coach, Georgios Barzokas, and some new key players like Stratos Perperoglu and Dimitrios Mavroidis.
All the players know each other, also the new guys that came, Perperoglu and Mavroidis. We know each other, so it was easier for him. But every coach have to put some certain system that he think that he believe that's gonna help us. So he did, and we try to work on it even better this year.
Ante and his teammates were up against Anadolu Efes Istanbul Thursday night. The Reds had the opportunity to avenge the defeats in Turkey, and they did just that. Led by 17 points by Kostas Papanikolaou. Olympiakos won 75-53, taking their 4th success in a row, and they are now producing their best basketball of the regular season. The Greek team have won the last 3 games with an average margin of 17 points. They are definitely back. In French, there is a funny similarity between the family name J'ai la balle and the sentence J'ai la balle, which means I have the ball. In fact, he often has got the ball in his hands when he's on the court. The French swingman, Michael J'ai la balle, is one of the main reasons why Cedevita are so competitive this season. And even if coach Bozidar Malkovic left the team before the Italian trip, Mike still credits him as the reason why he chose the Croatian team to come back to the Euroleague.
He was with me in Real Madrid. He brought me there too, and I know he was a good coach, and I have a lot of fun when I play with him in Real.
Now he has to carry this team forward with his experience and his talent.
I think this club in the future is going to be a big club in Croatia and maybe in Europe. They need to continue to play Euroleague, play a big level in Europe.
In order to create a strong structure, you need to build a team around certain individuals. Mikhail endorses one of his teammates as the most promising talent now starring at Cedevita.
Luka Babic is going to be a great player. He's just younger, he's 21, but he needs more time, more experience to play, and I think he's going to be a great player. He's athletic, can play defense, he's long, he's running maybe faster than Marcus Green, so it's going to be a good player, yeah.
J'ai la balle is the leading scorer of his team, and he knows how important it can be to start a professional career in a club that gives you playing time and responsibilities in your early years. That is what happened in Cholet, France, a city that adopted him at the age of 16 after he left his native Guadeloupe. Since then, the boy has grown up and has gathered different experiences, and he also had to overcome ACL surgery a few years ago before coming back with Villeurbanne, Charleroi and Himki in the last 3 years, ready to compete at the highest level.
Every time, like almost every year, I win something, and I play better and better, and I never back down after my ankle surgery too. So I step up again and just going because I love the game.
Thursday night, EA7 Emporio Armani Milan crossed Cedevita Zagreb in a revealing test for both teams. They came into the game with 2 victories apiece, and they both wanted one more to improve their chances of making it to the top 16.
We come here to try to win the game. Now we know we can beat some great teams, so we're not the same team at the first game.
The problem for Cedevita was that Milan was not the same team that had seen them fall to 4 consecutive defeats. After a close first half, EA7 Emporio Armani dominated the game with an impressive 23 run in the third quarter, thanks to some great defensive pressure and some 3-pointers by Antonis Fotsis, Malik Hairston and Gianluca Basile. The Italian team won 75-60, conceding only 6 points to Gelabal.
We play bad. We don't play with the same intensity we played last 2 games, and I think we affect a little bit too because now he's a new coach, so we need to be focused on what this coach needs and not on Markovic, because Markovic is not here now.
Malik Hairston scored 10 points and added 4 rebounds for the hosts, playing with a lot of energy and making good plays for his teammates at both ends.
We're trying to get better, each day, and we understand that we have to create our own energy at times, and the crowd, they brought some great energy for us, so it was a good win for us.
With this result, Milan are a step closer to the top 16.
Defense wins games. We want to continue to play defense harder, continue to get chemistry on defense, and we'll take it one day at a time.
Now let's take a look at our top 3 plays of the week.
Number 3, Showtime in Kaunas, Lithuania. Mindaugas Kuzminskas missed his first shot, but Mario Della sends him back a no-look pass for a high-flying slam. Number 2, Barcelona, Spain. FC Barcelona Regal in action. Victor Sada to Nate Jawai for a monster mash in traffic. Take that. And the number 1 play of the week, Moscow, Russia. CSKA point guard Aaron Jackson collects the steal, tricks his defender with a crossover, and sends a one-of-a-kind pass to Sonny Weems for an easy 2 points.
That's it for now, but before we leave you, let's unveil together the next game of the week. A host locked in the heat of a top 16 race, and a visitor with eyes on first place in their group collide next Thursday in Bamberg, Germany, as Brose Baskets host CSKA Moscow in the next game of the week. The holy grail for host Brose Baskets is the top 16 qualification that it has been so close to reaching in the past 2 seasons. Last season, one of Bamberg's missing links was a heartbreaking defeat to the same CSKA Moscow team that proved fatal when it came to decide top 16 survivors. With one of the iconic shots of last season, Milos Teodosic's buzzer-beating 3-pointer clinched that victory for CSKA, 78-81. And in doing so, dealt a blow to Bamberg's aspirations to join the Euroleague elite. 1 year later, players return from both teams to stage a rematch in the game of the week. Brose Baskets has familiar faces like Anton Gavel and Casey Jacobson on the roster, but also brought in one of the top scorers of the season to date. Veteran forward Bostian Nakbar has been a tremendous addition, and just the kind of player needed when attempting to take down a giant of the Euroleague. In fact, Nakbar scored 21 points against CSKA earlier in this regular season, despite Bamberg losing 76-67 in Moscow. CSKA's roster is as impressive as ever, with former Euroleague MVP Teodosic, veteran big man Viktor Kriapa and Nenad Krstic, as well as outstanding new arrival Sonny Weems. In CSKA's victory over Bamberg last month, Weems led the way with 17 points, while another new arrival, Vladimir Mitsov, climbed off the bench for 13 points. The mix of old and new players under a returnee to the CSKA bench, Ettore Messina, has brought great success already as the Russian powerhouse holds a 6-1 record and was the second team to qualify for the top 16. Now its goal is a first-place finish in the regular season. But they don't call Bamberg Freak City for nothing. Big teams have fallen hard before at Steckert Arena, which in 3 short seasons has proven to be one of the most atmospheric home courts in European basketball. With its fans 100% behind them, Bamberg's goal is to stop knocking at the door of the top 16 and knock that door down once and for all. As such, motivation will not be lacking for either team, and anything can happen when Brose Baskets takes on CSKA Moscow in the next game of the week.
Turkish Airlines Euroleague.